Hi everyone, Aimel here, and today I'm bringing up my draft analysis for a new season of the APA. We'll come back with Sword and Shield, and this season I'm one of the invited coach to participate. And yeah, so we're still back again with Sword and Shield, with BBL coming up at the same time as this one. So more content on Sword and Shield coming soon. And okay. Yeah. So APA, it's a league that does a lot of draft league, either on Wi-Fi or just on Pokemon Showdown. I mostly did their Showdown division, which I participate in a lot of them. But that's the first time. Well, actually, it will be technically the second time because I did one of the little cup the draft league in APA that I did on Wi-Fi. This one wasn't. Yeah, this one wasn't. Oh yes, yeah. I didn't need to do content out of it, so I was able to do it before I started doing content. But now that's the first time I'm gonna do APA Wi-Fi for content. Alright, so what's the meaning of this league? Because there's one little gimmick about this league that I like. They actually done it in the past. Is that after a certain amount of week, we have to do a new draft. So like the draft I'm gonna present you right now won't be the same after week 4. That draft I'm gonna get after week 4 won't be the same after week 8. And if you make playoff, you choose the team that you made to go through all the rules. So like if my draft one is the one I want to go with, but like if I make playoff and I want to use my draft one, I can use all the Pokemon of my draft one to go in playoff. So this means they can be the same Pokemon used again. Like if someone at a Urshifu draft and decide to go with it, and same for someone else, then there'll be potentially a Urshifu mirror. You get the idea. But yeah, I really like this concept. Also, something special. I'm not presenting my draft on like a on Photoshop or anything. It's like I'm gonna try presenting you my draft on literally the game. For me, it's a bit easier. I have to do less edit. I mean, it's not really editing, but I have to do less work to just present you the draft. Let me. If you guys prefer this way, then good. Good thing I trying out then. And on that, yeah, I'm gonna present you what we got. So as the hoarder did, I got the 15th place, which was the before last place, because we're 16. So technically, it's not a bad place at all. But yeah, there will be a lot of pick before I can double pick again. But having almost a double pick is still great nonetheless. And for my first pick, as you can see on the screen since the beginning, my first pick was Clefable. Probably one of the most versatile Pokemon you can get, just for its all-around good stats, either offensively or defensively. Two great abilities in Magic Guard to ignore passive damage or Unaware to ignore your opponent's stat changes. It also has a wide move pool of great coverage and stab with moves like Moonblast, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Seismic Toss. Whatever offensive move you want, Clefable probably has it, or at least the type from it. Heck, the thing learned Bubble Beam. But anyway, right. Also, support also amazing. So well for healing, wished for also healing, but also for teammate, aromatherapy, knockoff, healing wish, rocks, teleport. Just a great Pokemon overall. A great fairy type to grab, especially with all the powerful dragons there is in the game. So having pretty much the best fairy to counter them is great. Especially, it's also one of the better fairy to go against Yoshifu. Well, it's not a ironclad answer. Like it put in iron, just do so much on it, but at least it gives a check to it. And for me, grabbing it right now is essential, so I don't like auto lose to those powerful threats. Clefable will be standing in their way. Yeah, and after that, I decided to form a double pink blob core by grabbing after that Slowbro. I like this Pokemon, especially in Pokemon Unite, but here in Shield, so we don't talk about that. Like Clefable, it has good all around good stats. Also, a good water type to grab, especially with the regenerator ability, making it so it won't necessarily be over, overwhelmed throughout the course of the game, so it can just switch out and regen most of itself back. Like the Fable, he has teleport to be a pivot. He also has a good move in Scald, Slack Off, Thunder Wave, and other option. Offensive Slowbro is also possible, like Clefable, but generally less wanted because we want Slowbro to take as many hits as he needs to so that the team doesn't fall. And the two of them pairs pretty decent together. They both annihilate fighting types, like the dark type that can have trouble we can make Slowbro have trouble to Fable demolish them. Slowbro can scare off the poison type, as it's scare off, not counter because a poison can still be annoying. And yeah, also Clefable takes good care on most of the bugs for Slowbro. Yeah, for me, it's a good defensive core. I like it a lot. So yeah, that's why I wanted Slowbro to complete that double pink blob core. Next up, we're gonna go in the middle tier, as I would say, and grabbing Crocodile from a third pick, a great ground and dark type in one fell swoop. It's another rocker with Clefable. Both can run it, not necessarily every time, so having two Pokemon that can is always valuable. Intimidate is an all-time incredible ability, making Clefable and Slowbro have even more easier entry on physical attackers. Having a stronger knockout than Clefable is also viable to have some offensive pressure. Yeah, it's just good all around, like the two other picks that I did earlier. And yeah, it's also a good answer for most electric. I guess not every electric type, at least some of them, or at least be a good pivot, or at least not forcing them to not necessarily click their electric type move, but thinking that they want to hit Crocodile on the switch or something, like if they face against Slowbro. So yeah, I like Crocodile. I like this Pokemon. I hope I'm gonna use it well this for at least for these 4 coming weeks. Because yeah, I'm gonna drop all of them after that. Then after that, one of the big factors making crumble after that was speed. Since I have two defensive Pokemon, then a Crocodile. So I wanted to fix this. The Pokemon that is maybe early, but I didn't have any idea of what I wanted next, so I just went with it. It's still a good Pokemon overall. I'm talking about Noivern. Like I just said, speed is a specialty. It, it's not the greatest offensive dragon. Like a special attack is not even higher than Dragonite, to say the least. But his speed made up for it, so he can at least beat most of the other dragon. I say most because Dragon Ball is allowed, so technically this goes to him and not to Noivern. But it's still a good backup, or at least a almost number 3 or 2. I don't know if there's any faster dragon than Noivern, but Dragapult. Wait, but besides that, his offense are still good. Stab Draco always boosts the hurt. As for Stab a Hurricane, also utility move in U-turn, Roost, and Switcheroo are still viable, especially for ruining walls that would want to switch on Noivern, either by grabbing momentum or giving them a item that they do not want to have. And yeah, from, that's pretty much what I expected from Noivern. Also, it gives a potential defogger. It's not necessarily the best at it, but I can totally see something like 3 attack the fog boost Noivern. That's a set that can definitely work. Then the team was starting to be a bit weak to ice since Slowbro was the only resist, and Slowbro falls to freeze dry. So I went with my steel type. I didn't know what steel type to go with, but I decided to set my heart on Kabalyan for that. It's another all around Pokemon, but with super high defense like Slowbro. It's another rocker, still viable. Can potentially have a setup set with sword dance or even combine. Which I feel like combine is underrated on Kabalyan. I mean, the Pokemon has a sky high defense, so I pretty much always imagine it as combine as a perfect complement for its stats. Since its special attack is the same as its attack stat. But if not, it can also just be a pivot set since it learns Volt Switch. It may not hit hard, but stab close combat and Hammerhead can still do good damage. It also is a good counter to Dark types due to its justifiability. So if my opponent wants to click knockoff, I can just bring Cobalion and get a free attack boost to make up for his not that sky high attack to make it more threatening. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what I can say about Cobalion. As you can see, the team is really pretty much all rounder in stat wise. So after that, next I decided to go with Tangola, which maybe is not the strongest grass type to go against fire type due to its low special defense, but it's still another good physical wall. Yeah, that I think you can see right there. We go with all rounder that can take physical blows like nobody's business. But like Slowbro, he has Regenerator, meaning that he has ways to stick around throughout the game. He's also an amazing ground type answer against most of the ground types, especially Pokemon like Zygarde or Landorus. So you can just irritate their switch with knockoff, leash seed, sleep powder, or just dish out decent damage with stab Giga Drain. Wait, this little ball of knot will just stick around the game. It's a very popular Pokemon in Draft League just because it's so cheap and you can counter a lot of physical attackers just like that. So now I decided to go with more special defense while not necessarily being too on the slower side. So after that, I grabbed Nihi Lego, a good poison type to grab, which I haven't had since yet. So now I can absorb incoming toxic spikes while setting them up on my own. And it's another rocker. Yeah. So now I have 4 Pokemon that can potentially set up rocks. Good versatility to open up slot for other teammates. It's also a very strong offensive threat in itself, with his mighty step, power jam, and slush bomb. Also, the meteor beam set is not to be or to be avoided. It can be a real power also with the meteor beam boost and ultra boost. Well, beast boost that can give a speed boost just to completely steamroll most of the other teams. So yeah, I like this Pokemon, and I'm gonna use it well. I hope. I don't have anything else to say about it. It's just a great Pokemon overall. It's like its ground weakness, like it's covered up with Tangola being an amazing ground check, and Noivern that is immune to that, and Slowbro which is just Slowbro. Yeah, I'm gonna love this Pokemon on my team. Then a me pick, you can say, something that is definitely way too early, but still it's time to go for it because I wanted to. A sheep, yeah. Darbrul is here in my team, and you may not see it coming. Basically, what you double for is, yeah, is basically the body press column guard set, Big Fluffy, making it almost impenetrable physical tank. Which sounds good at first, but it's not really great because it's a normal type, so it doesn't resist much. It's, also, it's just a so the way is pretty much breaking it with special attack or just having a ghost type. So it's pretty much weird, but I still want it in normal type, and double is not the worst. And like I said, the body press color guard set could be devastating because it's not everyone that has a ghost type necessarily. Like even versus like bulky psychics or poison, it can muscle its way, even though it's not using a stab resisted attack. Well, yeah, but if for some reason I'm using it and it's not for the body press set, it still learns decent move in well, it moves like Thunder Wave, or you can even Baton Pass. Of course, not Baton Passing boost, but just Baton Pass for momentum. So we can just like come into an attack that I would want to eat, then Baton Pass out to something that will be able to scare it out. And yeah, that's that will be the sheep. I want to see some sheep in action for sure. So then I went with a bunch in the lower tier stuff, so I have a lot of points from what I have, and most of the really the Pokemon that cost a lot left weren't necessarily good for my team. I decided to go with one of them, being Crocodile. Basically, just to make my opponents have a really annoying time to prep, just because of its ability Shadow Tag. Like, yeah, Crocodile does nothing to Dark, but like, if there's something that I can see be trappable with it, you have to be aware of it. Otherwise, like, Gotted Elf can just come in and pick it off with easy, or even worse, trap something like a slow wall or anything, debuffing up for a teammate to take advantage of. That can also be a use for Gotted Elf, other than just trapping and killing. But yeah, I'm not necessarily the biggest trap user, or like I don't necessarily play them. Like I never draft top three or I never drafted Wobble Fett. I did try Gotham in the past, not did too well with it. So I'm gonna see if I can fix that or not. We'll see. Then also, and after that, there's another weakness I didn't like about my draft. I only have one removal option, and it was Noivern. Yeah, I have a lot of Pokemon that doesn't necessarily are weak to rocks, but I mean, removal is still useful, and maybe the other pick was not a good idea for that, but I still went with it. In Moga. Okay, at first glance, yeah, isn't the Moga? It's a it's one of the Pikachu clone. It's weak. It's frail, and having it as a removal option doesn't necessarily mean it really adds to your account because just of how hard it can be to use. But hear me out. It's still an electric type check due to its motor drive ability. It can still provide momentum for a team. So at worst, it's just a fast pivot that can remove hazards while checking electric types. Def is def but don't get me wrong. Like you saw that I drafted more Pico in BBL. I wasn't even feel that confident in it, so don't get me wrong. I still not necessarily think Imoga was a good option, but I still went with it because my options were low at this point for what my draft can upset. And with that, I have now just one final pick, and this one is a good Pokemon. It's Arcanine, like Wolfie would say. But Arcanine, another. We finished off the draft with another great all-rounder Pokemon. Another Pokemon with Intimidate to pair up with Crocodile. And Intimidate Core, I won't say no to that. It's also super strong with its Flare Blitz, has priority in extreme speed, recovery, Morning Sun, utility moving Blue Whisk, teleport, and roar. Really, this team pretty much for the first week is just all rounders. Like but we have a different plan for the next two draft, but this is what we're gonna have for the first weeks. So yeah, I'll see if I'll do other draft presentations for the other draft, and I'm gonna see you guys for week one of APA. See ya.